Hello, I'm Darren McGee. Today's question asks if I would discuss triangulation. So in this video, I'm going to look at what triangulation is as well as what it isn't. But I'm also going to look at some of the reasons behind it, give some examples of it, and look at the effects of being triangulated. But just to remind you, this video is for information purposes only. Now, triangulation is a form of psychological manipulation. The aim is often to divide and conquer. It's a way that a manipulative person tries to turn a situation to their favour by turning others against each other, making someone else look like the villain, creating confusion, disharmony, and using a lot of indirect communication to communicate something to one person through a third party. It is a strategy to try to gain some kind of advantage over rivals, partners, family members. Gain advantage by manipulating them into conflicts. It's often used by narcissistic people to protect their egos, to create drama, or for some kind of one-upmanship. But usually the purpose of triangulation is to draw attention away from whatever the real issue is, whatever the real conflict is in that relationship, because there is now a new conflict to focus on. Now, I would like to say that maybe being in a difficult situation or relationship with someone and confiding in a close friend or family member, that's not manipulation. That could be maybe just seeking support or advice, not necessarily to bring in a third person with some kind of agenda. That being said, there are some times when bringing in a third party is perhaps the correct course of action. For example, there may be inappropriate behavior taking place at work with maybe a colleague at work. Informing the manager or human resources is perhaps the procedure to follow. But when someone is being manipulative, passive aggressive, then they are going to others not just for advice or guidance. They are going with a particular agenda. They are going there to devalue their target, to have them feel as if they are outnumbered. So, triangulation, it usually takes place where there is a conflict of some kind between two people, and a third person, or people in some cases, are drawn in to help the manipulator better control the situation or to further gaslight or abuse their target. It could also be to gain loyalty, attention, affirmation from these other people. The manipulative person is looking for a third party, someone that's going to support them, support their position. Now that third person, they could be drawn in, maybe lied to, but it's just to validate and sympathize with them. The victim often ends up feeling rejected, excluded, punished by that new alliance. And as manipulative as they may lack insight, they may lack self-awareness. To some people, their version is now true just because they've got someone else to believe them, even if they don't know all of the facts. Now, some common examples of triangulation could be maybe in a family dynamic where maybe you have estranged parents and they're communicating through a child. Or there could be a form of parental alienation taking place where one of the parents is trying to form an alliance with a child or the children against the other parent. Or there could be a situation where someone feels their position, their status is threatened somehow. So what they do is they take two of their rivals and they pit them against each other by spreading rumours, by gossiping, like I said, to divide and conquer. In a romantic relationship, a third person may be brought in to create jealousy in the partner. For instance, people with borderline personality, they tend to fear abandonment and sometimes look for reassurance. They may use triangulation to manipulate someone to feel jealous in order to prove their love, their commitment. With narcissistic personality, the creating jealousy is usually about gaining some kind of supremacy, wanting revenge for some perceived slight, or testing their partner, or compensating for their own low self-esteem. Regardless of the reason, triangulating to create jealousy in a relationship is usually because of some kind of insecurity. It is manipulating others in hurtful and harmful ways just for someone to either get what they want or to get some sense of relief, some sense of security. Or perhaps in the case of a relationship ending, third parties can be brought in to spy, stalk, carry on the abuse. They are led to believe certain versions of events in order to isolate or punish that ex-partner even further. Now, These people are often referred to as flying monkeys, and I have made videos on flying monkeys if you want to check those out. But one way or another, triangulation is an unhealthy, maladaptive strategy that tends to generate even more negativity in a relationship. It may feel good for the manipulator, get them the desired results, the desired effect they want for a moment, but once started, it can create even more complications. That manipulative person is often telling so many different stories to so many different parties and are causing more polarization between themselves and their partner, or what has now become their victim. Nothing has ever going to get dissolved that way. And the impact of being triangulated can have someone feeling as if they're being attacked on many fronts. They may feel outnumbered by that new alliance. They may fear what others are thinking and saying about them. They may feel humiliated, concerned about where this is going. They can become overly self-protective. They may feel the need to confront those who've been brought into the dynamic, to maybe set the record straight. Now, if they act out of fear or out of anger, it generally gives the manipulative person the kind of reaction they want. The victim looks and sounds crazy. It perpetuates the conflict and it reinforces their narrative. For the manipulator, the impact of triangulation, on one hand, yes, it might alleviate their tension and stress for a moment, but ultimately it makes their relationship even more dysfunctional, especially when it's done repeatedly. It doesn't necessarily make the victim comply. In the longer term, it tends to push them away because all it does is cause pain and misery. And they may have brought in so many people, so many ways, so many times to triangulate in different situations. They can't keep up with their own lies. They can't remember what version they told what to. In some cases, the third party that was brought into the dynamic, sooner or later, they might start to see through that manipulative person. And because with disorders like narcissism, they never really seem to learn anything new, just different tactics to do the same thing. So what they do is they tend to bring in more people to triangulate the people they have brought in to triangulate someone in the first place. And that's just leaving a wake of confusion and insanity everywhere they go. So that is a brief outline of triangulation. Now, if there's anything I've forgotten or if you want to add any of your own experiences, by all means, please use the comment box below. There are some interesting conversations started around these videos. But if you like this video, if you found it interesting or helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel for future updates on mental health related topics. And until next time, thanks for watching.